tell you guys something.
Tell me something.
There ain't but one thing better than this.
Yo.
Hey, and I'm going to take care of that later tonight.
1. Look at 9. Take 9. There's 7.
You let me know when you're about to do
Ready,
high
8,
road,
full
so
8.
we'll go to
8,
black.
stay wide, okay? Take 8.
All right, this is to black. Ready? 2, 1, go black.
If Auburn had a different O-line, that would be a scary team.
Yes.
But you also have to give it to Oklahoma's defense, because I think that's what we really got to see on Saturday was two powerhouse defenses that were really trying to force the offenses to step out of their comfort zone, which we talked on the live stream about Auburn shifting gears from being super run heavy to having to be 40-yard chunk plays every single time. There's no quick passes. There's no time for any of that. You got to come up with some kind of fancy trick play or throw one big downfield to Coleman, who's going to have an awesome catch and showboat about it afterwards. But he can showboat all he wants as long as he's getting touchdowns. I don't care.
Fair.
I just did not think, with all the Heisman hype around Napier, that he looked anything like a Heisman candidate. And sure, he made the last bit, and he got the run-in touchdown and all that crap, but he missed people all day long. He overthrew people. He missed reads. Now, to be fair, Auburn took away his 1 and 2 practically all day.
Mm-hmm.
Their secondary was solid.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, man, he did just not look sharp at all. If you're the Heisman guy, you're number 1, number 2, number 3 in the running, you expect just crisp, sharp, good reads, get out of there, dump it off, whatever. He was just making shitty decisions. So I didn't think he looked good at all. So that's just my 2.
Right, and I feel like you said, Jackson Arnold did show out, and he had some huge moments, especially late in the fourth quarter, where he single-handedly, I think, converted like a 4th and 12 on his feet, and literally is laying it out. And there's a different quarterback I want to touch on from Vanderbilt, who I'm starting to appreciate more watching some of his footage too.
That was a good call from Ryan early, man. I mean, that's.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, and I think Paul Feinbaum is taking this stance on it, is that regardless of how controversial calls might be, none of this is going to matter in 6 days. The world's going to move on, just like every time Epstein lists come out, everybody's just going to move on with their lives, and that's going to be the end of it. Even if the SEC came out and said, hey, we're making an official statement, there will be reprimands, are they going to take the win away from Oklahoma? No. So I hate it for my Tigers. They definitely were shooting themselves in the foot with penalties. Not a lot of discipline there, but I know that crowd was going absolutely wild. So there was a lot of miscommunication on the line, a lot of false starts, a lot of penalties. But a lot of penalties that also didn't go the way that they should have too. But, that'll be the tie-up for this week, because like I said, we'll move on to next week and another top 10 team on the road.
In my mind, there were quite a few opportunities for officials to make the right decision, and the right decision was clearly not made.
Right.
And that PI that should have been called, I don't know anybody. There was one of the comments on our videos was someone saying, oh, it just looks like that because it was a slow motion. I was like, I watched it in real time. The announcers watched it in real time. Everybody said at the same time.
Yeah. He tackled him before the ball got
I thought
you can't do that.
Tackle people before they got hit. No, you guys are being silly.
And there was no way to really hide it because it is literally right there at the end zone in the middle of the field. It's just him.
Just those two, yeah.
Right. But I love that matchup that Coleman had. He was definitely exploiting. I mean, he was like a whole head taller than that matchup, whoever that cornerback was.
Yeah.
No.
All day, son.
Mm-hmm. Any other big games from this weekend that we want to touch base on?
On the note of underperforming Heisman candidates, what about the Florida and Miami? I mean,
oh man, poor Florida.
Yeah,
poor Florida.
And if we want to stick in that vein too, we could also talk about the latest of the Dabo debacle that is ongoing. I mean, he was crying on the field. His press conference afterwards, he's just a broken man.
Well, if you had something for so long and you could just see it slipping through your grasp now, I mean, I think that would break anybody at that point. And he wears his emotions on his sleeve, period.
Yeah, but if you if you are the persona, if you are the figurehead of this organization, you cannot present yourself like that. You went from being Billy Napier is going to go before you to, is Billy Napier going to go before you? You know, like that's.
Is that the talk of the town now? Or is it still a little bit of speculation on who's going to go first?
No, I think it's pretty much everybody's assuming Napier's on his way out at any time, but they're literally with that press conference, as soon as he did that, all over the place, everyone highlighting it. Because
the boo-hoos.
Well, the crying actually on the field was kind of, there's a few like X threads, but most of that was, shooed away. But this was, this is you getting prepared for the cameras already arranged and stationary for you,
Yeah.
Just not what you put up.
Well, there's coaching positions becoming available across the board already.
I think we, I don't know, maybe just do a shuffle with all the shitty ones, see if something works for them. And like I said, let's throw that Miami coach in the mix too. Pro Dolphins, of course. He's a clown, dude.
So, to win games, you have to win the game, not lose the game, honestly. And that is how you lose the game. You're moving the ball down the field. You're 1st and 10, and then you find yourself at 2nd and 20. That was critical.
That's just sad to be in a position like that and carry himself the way he does. That Miami head coach.
Well, I think he's blatantly drunk or barred out or something.
I'm
talking about in the press conferences and all that, because he's like, well, we got to win. And, if you don't win, then you didn't win.
Yeah.
And you're like, you are the head coach of a fucking NFL team. Do you know the history? Do you know the money? Do you know just this year's current dollars into this organization? And you're behaving like that. I don't know how there hasn't been a unfortunate accident occur to him at this point,
Right, that's what I was just thinking. Maybe he's got some kind of immunity that we don't fully understand.
Jeez.
He's got the Epstein tapes all somehow looked out there.
He's got ties to Israel.
What's sad is he came out as a really good coach for them. He had energy. He was the bro dude. He had everybody behind him.
So I will say I didn't like him from the start.
Well, me neither, but
it's a personal bias. He did have the high energy, but it was that kind of like annoying teenager with a cell phone energy. Like I remember distinctly when he messed up my man Crosby by trying to troll him from the sideline and trick him into thinking they were about to shift up a play when they weren't. And but there was literally minutes leading up to this. So he was not involved in the coaching for all of these minutes because he was planning this. I'm going to get one on Crosby. And then he's gleeful. And he's like, ha, you thought this, as another play is going on that he is not involved in the coaching of at all. And you're just like, what is going on?
But it's funny how much these NFL coaches are getting this wide berth where the college coaches are getting, you got a season and a half to show out or we're already looking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's how long's Mike Tomlin been with the Steelers, and when's the last time he won a Super Bowl? I mean, they're always 8 or 9 games they win, and they might get to the playoffs every year, but
they had a really good shampoo commercial that you will forever associate with the Pittsburgh Steelers due to one man's beautiful head.
To be fair, he was one of the best to ever play his position.
I was thinking about to talk about his hair. I was like, whoa, where are we going with it?
Well, you could always find him on the field. Just look for the back of that helmet.
It's got extra weight behind it too.
He's still selling it. I think he's got a new one that just came out last week for them.
I believe it. I mean,
lifetime endorsement. I mean, God, he's probably got a yacht that says dandruff free on the side of it. It's just
everything he has.
It's just power to him. Good for you. I hope I get an endorsement like that one day.
Wear it proud. But what you're saying about the differences with NFL coaches and college coaches, I think it's a good point, but I think it unfortunately all boils back down to there's scripts, there's certain we'll say messages, there's certain themes that have to be played out, certain games that have to be won. And I feel like the NFL is a lot better about maybe hiding some of those things, and then sometimes not, like the clip that you showed from the other day. Whereas with college, you definitely feel like the refs have more of a play in that. And I remember when they had that first overturn call, referencing back to the Auburn-Oklahoma game, I looked over at my dad and I said, well, clearly it's supposed to be Napier and Oklahoma to win this game. Let's see if Auburn can break it. Because sometimes you break the system and sometimes you get an overwhelming momentum that even all the flags can't stop. That was not Saturday for Auburn.
Sometimes a standout player from the University of Georgia that has made it to the NFL manages to break through a line, block a ball, scoop up the ball, and then run.
Joshua Carty has it blocked again! This time Jordan Davis, the big man, looks for the icing on one big cake. Eagles hang on!
As the fastest recorded time ever that a man over 300 pounds has
Really?
moved.
I can believe it.
It was 18.9 miles per hour down the field.
Now imagine that, and you're the running back, and he catches you full speed.
But, I mean, that's...
Death.
He's like the juggernaut. He got momentum. You couldn't say.
Another shirt we made. Shameless plug. Go check it out.
That was an amazing clip, though. What were all the stats that you put up for that? I mean, that was an unbelievable game.
That's what I'm saying. He was, hey, this dude did all the tackles, all the sacks, all the pressures. He blocked this. He blocked this. You know, just...
Yeah, that seems like a no-brainer for sure.
The scripting. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that was supposed to happen. I think that was just
Him breaking
Instinct.
through.
a Georgia boy just showing his little dog in him.
Yeah.
Shout out, Coach. I looked up here for Coach.
Go Georgia!
Honorable mentions, though. Texas Tech Red Raiders.
I was going to say the Illinois-Indiana game.
Oh,
I will
right.
say that quarterback right there, Mendoza, and I said this live,
Mm-hmm.
I think he, for me at least, is moving into a potential. This looks like a Heisman
Starts talking.
candidate to me. You know,
Well, I mean, to have a huge rivalry game like that and for them to just blow them out of the water.
yeah, against a ranked team,
Right.
a rival team. It's basically an in-state rivalry. You know, I mean, they're right next to each other.
Yeah. 63-10.
Yeah, I was real happy to see that.
Junior out of Miami, Florida.
Somebody might have picked the Fighting Illini, but
Yeah.
sometimes we just got to go against what everybody else is saying.
I've been preaching up Indiana and Vanderbilt all year, man.
I want to jump into Vanderbilt here in a second, but I definitely I went back and rewatched their South Carolina game, and I was really, really impressed with their quarterback, especially for him laying a block downfield for one of his running backs a play. And I mean, he literally trucked into a dude probably 50 pounds heavier than him.
The kid wants to
Just
win,
to
man.
get, it wasn't even for a touchdown, it was for a first down. Yeah. Mad respect.
I like him.
Mhm.
You ready? So we got Thursday, September 25th. Army Black Knights at East Carolina Pirates.
This is a no-brainer for me. I'm going to go ECU all the way.
Did they cover the spread?
Yeah, absolutely. And my question coming to that is whether it's an over-under game for this one. I wouldn't touch it. I think that Army does have potential to put some points on the board through a run game that they might exploit a potentially weak middle in the ECU front. But I'm not going to say over, even though if I were going to go ahead and go over.
Yeah, I had over as well.
I'm taking Army and the under.
Really?
I like Army. They did a good job last year.
I don't think they have it at all. I think East Carolina's going to.
We'll see.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
All right. And the tickets for that, we'll go ahead and the tickets actually, since you made this, the tickets increased to $1.
So we're at $14. Okay.
$14 tickets. Not $6 tickets, not $3 Colgate tickets. Colgate tickets. God, that's going to mess me up. All right, next up we have the number 8 Florida State Seminoles. That's the title you like to see. Ranked Florida State team, legacy team coming back here. They're going to be at UVA. That is the Virginia Cavaliers. We got tickets going for $62 at this game.
Seems reasonable.
Respectable. The line on this has Florida State at 7.5-point favorites, and then the over/under being 58.5. Brian, what you thinking?
I'll make it quick. I'm taking Florida State. They cover, and we're going over.
Covering and over. All right. What about you, big dog?
I was going to say, it seems like Virginia's managing to put up 30 points a game, even in close loss to NC State, but the Noles are going to continue their winning streak. I got FSU. They're going to go over the 7.5 and over as well for the 58.5.
We are all in agreement on this. This is one to put your money on, folks. Can't all be wrong, right? All right, next up, we have number 24. That would be TCU Horned Frogs going against the Arizona State Sun Devils, a team that some people believe deserves a spot being ranked.
So much so they got them winning 2.5 over TCU here.
We're starting with GB calling AZ covering it.
Arizona State only loss this season was at Mississippi State back in week 2. It was a close game, 24-20. But Vegas seems to like them to pull out the victory at home, but not so fast. I'm going TCU comes away with a win on the road, and I'm thinking we're going over 55.5.
What about you, baby?
I'm liking TCU, man. I am liking TCU. I'm thinking that we're going under, though, because I think we're going to see some defense out of both sides and not as many points scored. I'm going to go TCU, but we are going to be under.
I am going Arizona State
Oh, you're one of those folks, huh?
and over. I am one of those folks. Maybe one of those folks that cast a vote. Who knows? But yeah, I think they deserve to be in there.
I think their Mississippi State matchup is what's leading me towards the TCU win.
Now, hold on. We'll take a quick sidebar here because there is something. Speaking of Mississippi State, this is what you want to see, folks. This coach right here. Oh, geez. I love it.
Oh, man.
You can't tell me that's not going to fire you up in there.
It is. I mean, I want good things for Mississippi State. I've got one of my next door neighbors is a Mississippi State fan, and as an Auburn fan, and they're Mississippi State fans all last season. We're just like, who'd you lose to this week? That's kind of like how our mentality's been.
That's awful.
Right. Well, if the season reflects. So I'm curious because, I mean, I think they've got a matchup we've got on here too, right?
But anyway, we were talking about the lowest ranked teams in the SEC, and we were throwing Mississippi State as possibly one of those. And I think even if you are saying that's the bottom of the barrel, I think that's still a solid team comparatively, across the board.
You can say that about most of the SEC teams, right?
Well, no, I'm saying if you're at the bottom and you're compared to everybody, I'm saying the whole college football CFB as a whole. Just because you're in the bottom of the SEC don't mean you're in the bottom of.
No argument there. We know the SEC's the best.
I know.
As much as the ACC's trying.
All right, folks. Next, we got number 21, the USC Trojans versus number 23, the Illinois Fighting Illini.
Illini.
Oh, okay.
So it's been 20 years since USC's even been relevant in the discussion, I would say. And I'm glad to see that they've made it back in the top 25 and they're starting to get in the right direction. I've got them this week going over and over the 59.5. I think the Illini got the brakes beat off them last week by Indiana. And I think that they're going to be still reeling from that.
Brian?
Taking USC. Don't think they're going to get the brakes beaten off of them per se because they did last week. Their coaches are obviously going to try to tighten that up. So I'm taking USC to win. I do think they cover, but we're under.
I don't know. I think both teams are overrated.
Yes.
Highly so.
And I
think this is just one of those games where you can take away the 21 and the 23 because neither number really means anything.
like Notre Dame being ranked.
We'll get on that in the next one.
Yeah, that's the next one. That's number 22. That'll be the number between those two numbers. I think that both teams will be. USC's trying to prove that they're relevant at all. Illinois is trying to prove that they are not absolutely overrated. They lose here, they know they will never see anything the rest of this season. USC can lose here and potentially still do something else.
Because they're USC.
That being said, I think Illinois not only keeps them from covering, I think Illinois actually wins.
Ooh.
So that's going to be my call. That's going to be the dude's upset.
It's on tape now. The Fighting Irish at the Arkansas Razorbacks. This is my upset. I think those Razorbacks knocked those undeserving Fighting Irish, no talent having hacks and run them out of their own stadium. Get out of here. You don't belong in Arkansas. Go back to church. Arkansas wins. We're under. Because I don't think either of them are scoring that many points. That's Brian's upset.
You want to jump on that, or can I take it real quick?
You can take it. I can.
So last week, Notre Dame was able to get their first win of the year over Purdue, restoring faith that the program deserves to be in the top 25. Notre Dame's defense is allowing too many points per game, which is why I think this is going to be over the 64.5. I think Arkansas has proven that they can put some points up in some competition. I think it is going to be a lot, especially because Notre Dame gave Purdue 30 points last week. In the last matchup with the SEC, Notre Dame lost at home against a solid Texas A&M team. So I foresee Arkansas putting points on the board as they have been all season. But the question is, will it be enough to outscore Notre Dame? And I think so, because I think Notre Dame is going to come out and score as well. But I think it's going to be similar to the A&M Notre Dame matchup, where it's going to come down to a couple points left in the end. It's going to be a high-scoring game. But I, too, have Arkansas pulling the upset.
This is a game that I think the script would say the Gold Hats win out. I do not think that they will cover the line regardless, though. I think it will be over. And I think it will be an overtime game.
Your script be damned. Woo pigs!
I want one for Arkansas. I feel like it's overdue.
I mean, this past week, they did not show me what they needed to show me for me to...
Yeah, that upset me. But I think you don't take away from Memphis. I think they've got a good team. I do.
Yeah.
Oh, our next one coming up here, number 16, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Love them.
They will be at the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Now, those Demon Deeks, I'm not even going to try to make this thing. Georgia Tech, all the way. They cover easily. And I think they will also be over. I think that there's been a lot of media attention getting on them. And I have seen the coach almost daily put out something. I think stuff's getting to his head. So I think he is trying to pull out the ruler for everyone to see. Now, small chance it all blows up because he gets a little too ego involved. A little too forward thinking maybe, but I think overall, solid squad. I think he puts points up. That's why I'm calling the over as well as them covering.
GB?
Georgia Tech is definitely in control of their own destiny. I think that I'm eyeballing that matchup against Georgia in November. I think that's going to be a good game. I'm going to have to disagree with you, though. I know Georgia Tech's going to win. We're 100% there, but I think Georgia Tech is going to be under 14.5, and I think the whole game is going to be under 53.5.
All right.
I'm in line with the dude here. Georgia Tech, they cover and Rover. I just like the team, man. They've got a lot of energy to them. That coach has got those boys believing. They're all playing for one common goal. I like to see that, especially with that program, because they had several years where it was real tough sledding, man.
Right.
And now you're seeing them start to get some traction. They're winning some real games. They're getting some signature time. They're moving their game times around a little bit, so we're seeing a little more of them. And like you said, that coach is push. So I like them.
Can I drop in a little fun fact about the Demon Deacons, though?
The DDs?
The DDs, if you will. So, the Demon Deacons nickname for Wake Forest University athletics originated in 1923 after a reporter for the old Gold and Black newspaper described the team's devilish play against victory over Trinity College, which is now Duke. The mascot's first appearance was in 1941 when a student Jack Baldwin dressed as a Baptist deacon in a top hat, tuxedo, and umbrella for a dare. And the nickname combines Wake Forest religious heritage with a fierce, demonic play style.
I think that was some hazing.
Could have been.
That.
Could have been.
Those were all our 11 a.m. kickoff games, folks.
Those are the early ones.
We got one kind of staggered out after that. 11:45 scheduled kickoff. Utah State Aggies. They will be at number 18, Vanderbilt Commodores. Team that this channel has thrown some weight behind. Brian personally called up the quarterback, said he was something to watch, and he has been a thing to watch. That being said, this roguishly handsome young man, do you think he is going to cover the line of 21.5 points? I don't think anyone is going to call a Utah State upset. I'm sorry. This was assumptions, first of all. If you do, go ahead and speak now, forever hold your peace.
Yeah, I don't think Diego plays in the fourth quarter. I think they're up big in the third, and backup gets a playtime. So, yeah, I think they absolutely cover. I think we're absolutely over, and I think this is one of them signature wins you've been talking about where Vandy comes out and scores 50, 60 points. Who knows? It's just one of those beat-to-death games.
Okay.
So that's my call.
I'm with it.
Yeah, I got Commodores over Aggies, and Vandy goes over 20.5, over 59.5. But I was talking about Pavia earlier. I'm super impressed with him. I feel like Vanderbilt's trying to make a statement, and that statement this week is, you better get ready next week, Alabama, because we're coming. Whoop, whoop.
No, this is just their lead up. They're going to get all the points this week, and then we're going to drag that ass next week.
Damn. Big words. We will see.
A lot of question marks coming up the next couple of weeks that are going to get answered.
All right.
Here's the
Did you
board.
give your pick, or were you universally agree?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Okay, sorry.
Across the board.
I think he covers.
Mhm.
Ominous,
Copy.
ominous, onomatopoeia. All right, next we got Auburn at number 9, Texas A&M Aggies. One might say the real Aggies, since we just talked about you.
Right.
That's kind of mean. Sorry. Anyway, the line right now has them Aggies at 6.5 points. How do we feel about that? The over-under on that game is going to be 52.5 points. This will be a 2:30 p.m. kickoff, and one of our more expensive games, with the tickets for this being $169, your cheapest option.
Do you think those ticket prices go up after last week with Oklahoma?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the very least, we feel like Auburn can compete, right? Or we feel like at the base minimum, seeing the Oklahoma game, that there's a team that competes. Now, here's my point. Texas A&M being in the top 10, if you look at the rest of the record, excluding Notre Dame, I don't think it justifies that number 9 spot. I think because of the over-affection of Notre Dame is A&M put into the top 10. Now, they haven't faced a real defense yet either. I think DJ Durkin's going to come out unsettling that Aggie offensive line like he did with Oklahoma. And I think if Auburn can tighten up on the road, get the ball out a little bit quicker, yes. I think if they can hold the Aggies to 24 points, listen up. If they can hold the Aggies to under 24 points, Auburn's going to win. And the game will be under 52.5.
They hold the Aggies to under 24 points.
I went a lot between 24 and 21. I think it's 24. And I think Auburn wins 27-24.
Hold 24, carry the Y. If the moon is in the crescent stage and Jupiter is rising out of the Virgin's equatorial Neptune, then yeah, okay. Just want to make sure I got everything
We
down.
were going to let you go as long as you wanted. Or do you think the script dictates that Texas A&M needs to win to make Notre Dame look better?
I think there's a lot of money behind Texas A&M
Oh, sure.
making it to the college playoffs. As in, those are the agreements, that's the understandings, that's what people want. If I were a speculating person, I think pound for pound out there, Auburn absolutely has the better team and the team that wins in a game where the boys play the game.
But that's not the world we live
It could be the world we live in, but it is going to be a home game. And I think the Aggies are going to win this one. I think they cover the line. And I think it's over.
The only disagreement I have is I think it's under.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Auburn scores a lot of points in this game.
Now, I would like to root for the Auburn Tigers.
I would not.
I would prefer, well, I'll go for anything in the state, you know. I say, yeah, be a fun game. That'll definitely be a great game to watch. The Ohio State Buckeyes at the Washington Huskies.
I think this is a quick, easy call, man. I think the Buckeyes are well in hand by half. Washington does not look like anything like they used to since DeBoer left. I think they cover, and I think we're over.
So here's the thing. Tickets for this, $132. It's going to be at Washington. The line on this is not as big as you would think it would be for the number one ranked team in the nation to be playing an unranked team. Do we think there's something there? Do we think maybe there's something that somebody knows that nobody else knows? Or do we think this is... What do we think?
Well, it seems reminiscent of the Oregon-Northwestern game we talked about earlier in the season, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Where it was another situation where the points were low and you're wondering how is that the case? And they sure enough did not go over, if you remember. So, but I've got to piggyback on what Ryan was saying. I'm going Ohio State as well, but I don't think we're going over. I think it's under 52.5. Ohio State has kept every team they've played at 10 points or less, including Texas. So I think their defense still shows out. So I think Ohio State comfortably wins, but I would see Washington struggling to score.
I'll agree with that all the way. I almost wanted to counter you, but no, I don't.
Sound logic.
Well,
because you said that.
I just think that the Washington Huskies have a defense that is going to shut Ohio State down, more so than you're counting on Ohio State shutting down.
And that's why you're thinking the line is so low.
I almost want to. That's why I'm wondering, is there something I don't know that would make me think, you know what, I'm going to call an upset on this. Over but under.
Over but under.
Well then.
Here's one of the barn burners, I think.
This is a game to get excited about. I get excited about any SEC border battle, period.
So this is a game that I will be watching as well. I think this will probably be a game. We'll live stream the 2:30s, we'll say. The halftime report. Tickets for this, $218, and they're only going to go up, folks.
For sure. Yep.
So we got the line has the Rebels as 2.5-point favorites with the number 4 LSU Tigers being unwelcomed.
Oh.
Sorry, I forgot where I was going with that. Because I was trying to remember the Ole Miss number without looking, and I couldn't think what they had. Anyway. So I think the line is where it is because it will be LSU at Ole Miss. I think the Rebels in Death Valley is the other way, and it's a much steeper line. That being said, go Tigers. I think the Tigers, I wouldn't even call this an upset necessarily, but the Tigers pulled the upset here. And I'm going to say under.
Ryan, you want to jump in?
Unless Nussmeyer gets his shit together, then fucking 20 points.
I think, to piggyback on that, Nussmeyer is due a big game. I think it's time for him to do some stretching himself. And I think if he was going to do it, this would be the one to do it in because, Ole Miss is going to score points against anybody. That's just Lane Kiffin is going to score points with that offense. So I'm going Tigers. I do think the Tigers win. I think there's a lot of points in this game. I think we're over. Yeah. I think that's solid. I feel like Nuss is due, and this would be the one.
I said if he shows out, it'll be over. And like I said, maybe even 20 points over. I would really, really like to see Nussmeier come out this game and say, hey, I'm still in the mix. I'm still a Heisman candidate. We saw Arch this past week come out. We saw him being a big man. There was somebody there. And then the press conference say, well, Mama was mad at me for doing that, you know.
So I'm going to piggyback on what both of y'all are saying, but I think LSU would need to come out and score at least 40 points if they want to try and win this game. And they have not been able to prove that this season unless it was Southern Louisiana Lions, like it was last week. When they're tougher matchups, like they had with Florida and Clemson, those are tighter, lower scoring games, which I think Clemson and Florida have both been exposed to not be as good as we thought they were. So I'm going Rebels over Tigers. Ole Miss goes over 2.5, and we're over 55.5 because it's going to be, as we discussed, a high-scoring game.
Ooh-wee.
Okay.
I can respect it.
Okay.
Nah.
We'll see because we'll be watching.
We're at Ole Miss,
and we'll
like
be
you
at
said.
halftime.
We're at Ole Miss. That's the big key difference here.
They were the sleeper team I called at the beginning of the season, so if they come out and be the sleeper team, I'm all for it.
We'll
Sleeper
see.
team to get how far to the playoff? Or yeah, I think they could do that. I don't think they win the whole thing. They don't have a defense good enough to do that, but it remains to be seen.
Maybe they can get Florida's. Sorry, I need to get off that Florida. All right, next game, another 2:30 game. I will see what of this I can. You have the 11th-ranked Indiana Hoosiers at the Iowa Hawkeyes.
How are we still only 11 at this point as Indiana? That's the question mark I have.
I mean, they've been putting it out there. Iowa is a solid team, even though they're an unranked team. I would absolutely put them above, we'll say 21, 22, 23 to some of these teams we've already mentioned. I won't say names or anything, but I'll say numbers. Line is 7.5 points. Over under on that is 48.5 points. I think right away we're going over that. I think Indiana covers the line. So basically, Hoosiers all the way on this one. But I'm not saying this is a powder puff game. I think there's a reason the line is only 7.5 points, and that's because Iowa is a solid and a stout team.
I think that this is going to be Indiana's toughest game of the year. I say that because I think the Hawkeyes have a good
wasn't
defense.
last week.
No, I really don't. I don't think it was at all because they scored 1 million points on
1 million points.
But due to that defense, I think they're under. I do think Indiana covers. I think Indiana wins, and but due to that defense, I think they're under 48.5.
Okay. GB.
Hoosiers over Hawkeyes, Indiana over 48.5.
All right. Next up, we have another ranked SEC team. Fun fact this week, if you look at the top 10, 5 of the top 10 are SEC teams. If you look at 10 through 20, 5 of number 10 through 20 are SEC teams. Fun fact.
As it should be.
Now, number 15, Tennessee Volunteers. They will be at another SEC team. That is the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Now, this is a 3:15 kickoff. It'll be available on the SEC Network. The line on this has Tennessee at 7.5 point favorites, with the over-under being 61.5 points. Tickets for this game are $84. I am inclined to think that Tennessee's quarterback has gotten into his groove a little bit. He's going to still come in swinging, and I think the Bulldogs, as Coach said, the only thing better than a victory, and he's going to get that later tonight. So I think Tennessee wins, but I think the Bulldogs keep them from covering. I think the game will be over as well, though.
So I'm going the exact opposite of you. I'm saying Volunteers over Bulldogs over 7.5, but under 61.5. This is Mississippi State's first SEC matchup of the season. Meanwhile, Tennessee had a close loss to Georgia. We're going to see a little bit more of what Georgia's made of this week. Tennessee, unfortunately, going to take it. Like I said, I'd love to see Mississippi State do something.
So you have the line being covered.
Yes.
I have the line not being covered.
But
What do you
under
have?
60.
Tennessee wins. They absolutely cover. We absolutely go over.
6 p.m. kickoff. Be on ESPN. Tickets right now are $67. 50.5 point over under. Line, like I said, 6.5 points. This is another one that kind of makes you do a head scratcher as to why the line is so tight, especially with it being a home game. That being said, Iowa State, I think, takes it all the way, covers, scattered, scrambled, smothered, covered, jump.
I think the Cyclones win. I think they cover, but I do think we're under. I don't think either one of these teams are going to score a lot of points.
We're going to have 3 different picks here. I've got Iowa winning. I'm saying it's under 6.5 points. They're staying under, and it's going to be under 50.5. I'm thinking a field goal difference.
We got the number 6 Oregon Ducks at the number 3 Penn State Nittany Lions. Like we said, 6:30 kickoff. This will be on NBC, Peacock. Tickets for this one, a whopping $414 for the cheapest seats.
Thanks, Nike.
I was about to say. Nike.
Now, the line on this one has Penn State pulling it out against them Ducks for 3.5 points. Over under at 52.5 points. I think, well, go ahead.
Ducks all the way.
Ducks all the way over.
Over.
Same. Penn State has not earned that number 3 spot. If they do get this win this week, my conversation will change. But
I agree with
don't think
that.
they deserve to be here.
I don't either.
All right. I am going to say Penn State takes it, and I am going to say, yeah, I'm gonna go with the over 2 on that. I guess we're trying.
The spread on this
Yeah.
game, my God.
We got the UMass men at the number 20 Missouri Tigers. Tickets going for $74. This will be on ESPNU. Over under at 56.5. Line is 43.5 points. Real quick, do they cover the line?
I'm not touching this one.
They're not covering that.
He's not touching it. He says they're not covering it. I am saying they confidently cover it.
Wow. UMass has not won a game since October of 2024. I think this is going to be a repeat of last year's below
Do you
as
think
well.
they're going to lose by 43.5 points?
I think the Missouri Tigers are a team of alpha males. And they're going to come out there, because they had, if you was a tiger and there was a cat.
Hey, but my cat's not your cat, and his cat's bigger.
What?
But that's why we're
Yeah.
alphas.
I don't think we need to get that.
Just the point that last time they met up, it was 45-3. What's the difference? There's 42 points. What do they call it? 43.5?
Tigers win, but it's not by that much, man. But they do go over.
All
I'm
right.
saying they didn't get that last time.
What I'm saying. SEC matchup. This will be a game right here. We have the number 17 Alabama Crimson Tide.
Roll Tide!
They will be at number 5 Georgia Bulldogs. Will be in Athens. Tickets for this coming in a close second at $394 for the cheapest seats. Now the line currently has the Dogs as 2.5 point favorites with an over under of 53.5 points. How do we feel about it, folks? GB, you want to take it first?
I don't, but I will.
Do it.
So since 2015, Alabama leads the matchup against them 8-2. I think that at the end of the day, what's the key factor that's missing from the equation going forward for that 8-2 over?
Save him.
So last year's matchup was a back and forth slugfest. Alabama scored 21 unanswered points. You'll remember in that first quarter alone, the last time they met up. Then Georgia comes back, fights back. They get 19 points in the fourth quarter to, I think, Alabama's 8. Still the Tide roll. It was 41-34, huge scoring game. Rankings have nothing to do with it. This is a personal matchup. It doesn't matter. It's always going to be a slugfest because so much is on the line. With that said, Georgia wins. They're over 2.5, and we're going over 53.5.
He carried the one and everything.
Okay. Well, yeah, Brian, you disagree. I would not think the Alabama fan would be supporting Alabama in this, but maybe. Why don't you tell me what you got, just to confirm it?
Well, Alabama. Fucking roll tide, baby. Okay?
Add Georgia.
Alabama wins this game. Alabama
Roll Tide.
wins by at least 7, and we're absolutely
At
going
least
over.
7.
Brian Williams wakes up, catches 5,000 yards in this game alone, 15 touchdowns. But all seriousness,
5,000.
Ty Simpson has been absolutely every week getting better. Every single time he's on the field, he's gotten better. His completion percentage is off the charts. He's making good decisions. Our running backs are starting to tighten up. I think our line is better than their defensive line at this point in the game, and I think that's where the game is going to be won, in the trenches. As long as Ty Simpson has time in the pocket, our receivers are going to eat their secondary up. We win by at least 7, and we're over 53.5. Roll Tide, baby.
So you think it's a defensive game, but you're still thinking it's going to go over?
Yeah.
Okay.
What you got?
I'm going to say this game will absolutely be over. I would not touch betting on either one of these. This is the game more than any other one that I think could honestly go either way, because I think Alabama Crimson Tide has everything to lose in this game. And then they will only be playing to beat Auburn at that point if they lose this game. Whereas Georgia, they've got everything to lose, because we're probably not going to accept that. They need to win outright, be uncontested to be in the dance. Because if Georgia were to lose this, it just shakes everything up and it makes the SEC as a whole look weaker. So Georgia has to win this for everyone in the SEC to look their best. So I think overall Georgia probably is supposed to win. And I honestly think if I had to put a gun to my head, I would have Georgia winning, but not covering the 2.5 point line. It being a literal, maybe 1 point game where someone tries to get greedy and go for 2 instead of kicking a field goal to go into another overtime. And who would that someone be?
But here's an interesting way to shake it up. Let's say Georgia loses, and Vanderbilt comes in next week. I mean, Vanderbilt's a top runner for the East, that's my feeling. If Georgia loses this game, so really, if Georgia loses,
that's what I'm saying. If they have to be.
I'm just saying, this is my parlay. If Georgia loses this week, Vandy will absolutely win next week against Van. It's my call.
Okay.
Put some fucking respect on Bama's name.
I think we're putting respect on Vandy,
Yeah.
which you've been doing this season too. I mean, give it to South Carolina. I think they ended up losing their starting quarterback. He got injured during the game, which was a big loss.
Right.
But still, defense couldn't slow them down.
So next up, we got number 25, Brigham Young Cougars at the Colorado Buffs. Now, line has the Cougars at 6.5 point favorites. Over under 47.5 points. I'm gonna say BYU all the way and over.
Over. Okay.
And over.
I got Cougars over Buffaloes, BYU under. I'm
Okay.
going under 47.5.
Coach Crum said the Buffaloes aren't a nighttime team, so they can't play nighttime games and win. So I'm saying BYU wins, they cover, and it's definitely over.
All right.
I've just about lost faith in the Buffaloes.
I think it's going to be a similar repeat to the Alamo Bowl that we got last season.
Yeah.
Well, you have it, boys.
Sideline in my goddamn khaki pants, watching as Cade Klubnik's NFL hopes swirl down the toilet as we get our shit pushed in by a joke nerd school like Georgia Tech. How do you think I felt? Standing there helpless in the fourth quarter as they rammed it down our fucking throats to set up the game-winning kick. The moment I saw the ball sail through those uprights, I thought to myself, I don't even know why I do this shit anymore. College football used to be Dabo Swinney versus Nick Saban. Now it's turned into a fucking joke. All these kids care about is NIL money. They don't give a rat's ass about winning. I mean, come on, guys. Losing don't hurt when you're rich. Getting your ass beat by Georgia Tech don't matter when you're driving a Bentley to practice. The game don't mean as much anymore. College football is fucking dead. And I'm just the asshole standing on the sideline watching the funeral.